What's up, everybody, and thank you for listening to Mastering the Mindset. My name is Dariusdotch, and I'm an actor, hip-hop artist, and fitness and life coach. And I'm here to personally help you train and improve your mindset so that you can, 1, become the best version of yourself mentally, and 2, gain focus and motivation to be able to take action and achieve the success in life that you want and deserve. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to my channel, and at the end of this episode, if you liked it, please share it with a friend or a loved one or someone who would benefit from hearing this message. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm ready to go on this journey with you, and that journey begins now. All right, and welcome back to another episode. I'm really excited to talk about this subject with you today, and I'm excited because I feel like we need this episode. And I want us to talk about this quote that I found, and I think it's pretty dope. And the quote is, "A sacrifice isn't really a sacrifice, but a down payment on a future blessing." Let me say that one again, and write this one down if you need to. A sacrifice isn't really a sacrifice, but a down payment on a future blessing. And I'm not even really sure who said this one. I think I saw it on a motivational Instagram page or something like that. But I've seen plenty of quotes similar to this one. But I think it's a good one to dive into. And I also think that depending on who you are, your definition of sacrifice can be different, depending on what you have to sacrifice, as well as if you have a business like me, or you work from home, or corporate, or retail, whatever. Sacrifice will have a different meaning. And I want to talk about some questions that you can ask yourself around the word sacrifice and that quote. And I think it will really help you because it definitely has helped me. So first, let me say that we all know, or at least have an understanding, that sacrifices are without a doubt required to hit those big goals. Now, whether that's in your career, a business, building your relationships, they will require some sacrifices. And it's important for us not to think of a sacrifice in a negative way. We have to embrace the fact that when you choose to make a sacrifice, as in you decide that something isn't as high of a priority as something else, or you give up something to be able to get something else bigger in the future, you build confidence. Every time you make a conscious decision that something else matters more than the thing you're giving up, instead of feeling like you have to balance everything in life perfectly, instead, you're going through life and making an intentional choice that this is my goal and these are the things that fit my needs right now, and this no longer serves me. And this is the reason why I'm always saying that you can't only work when you feel like it. You can't only work when you feel like it. Now, that might work for some people, right? Prince can work whenever the hell he felt like it, right? Painters and authors, they can work whenever they feel like it, especially if they are already established in their career. And if that works for you, then do it. Then do you. But I know for a fact that I would not be where I'm at in life without making a hell of a lot of sacrifices for the many blessings that I've gotten later on. But on the other side of it, I will say that I disagree with the idea that you can, quote unquote, sleep when you die. Yeah, there's going to be some nights when you don't get a lot of sleep. Hell, maybe a whole week, a month, right? If it gets to that point where you just don't get 8 hours of sleep. Those seasons will come. But I don't think you should be working yourself into the ground and working 18, 20-hour days. That's just not mentally healthy. So whether you find yourself on one extreme side of the spectrum and you feel like you can only work when the moon is in retrograde, and I'm not making fun, that might be your thing. Or if you're on the other side of the spectrum and you feel like you need to grind and grind and grind and grind and sleep is for the dead, then either way, do you. But my point is, not only do we need to be more self-aware, but we have to ask ourselves, what are we willing to sacrifice to get what we want? And what are we unwilling to sacrifice to get what we want? And this is going to change. And it's going to change often. Depending on what season we're in and what stage of life and what goals we're chasing, is going to change. Because if not, let me tell you from experience, there are a few things that could happen. If you don't know what you're willing to sacrifice and also what you're unwilling to sacrifice, you will struggle. If you don't make that sacrifice, what will happen is you won't have those boundaries and you'll be trying to do too much, and you'll either develop some bad habits of negative self-talk, meaning putting yourself down, doubting yourself, being stressed, being overwhelmed, or you'll either crash and burn or throw in the towel altogether. Trust me, I've been there. You have to know and figure that one out. You can't do everything because you will burn yourself out. And two, you won't be able to focus on the things that are the most important. So, good thing is we can fix this. First, we have to ask ourselves, what do you really want? Not what sounds good, or what you feel like you should want, or what you feel like you should want at this stage in your life or in your career, or that's what other people are doing, so I should be doing it too. No, it can't be a should want, because a should want won't be the thing that keeps you in it when it gets hard, when you get a curveball, when you have to choose something that you need to sacrifice. Because ultimately, what we want is that feeling after we accomplish that goal. And you have to ask yourself two questions. One, what are you willing to sacrifice? And two, what under no try it again. Number two, what under no circumstances are you not willing to sacrifice? What's up, what's up, what's up? I want to take a quick moment to say thank you so much for listening to this episode, and to also let you know that this podcast is 100% donation driven, which means it's completely funded by you, the listener. So if you like the content I have to offer, I would love it if you can make a donation and you get to pick the amount. I left links in the description of the video as well as my homepage. You can choose which way benefits you the best to donate. And if you need more options, please feel free to email me at dariusdotch@gmail.com. That's dariusdotch@gmail.com. Again, thank you so much for being here, and let's get back to it. So first question, what short-term sacrifices are you willing to pay? Are you willing to put down as a down payment to later have that future blessing? So for example, if you work for a marketing company and your boss comes up to you and says, hey, we want to give you this project, and if you complete it, you'll be eligible for a raise and you will get a promotion. And it's a 4-month project that will require you to work a lot more hours, and you have to give up one weekend every month. Are you in? And here's where you have to ask yourself, one, do I want the promotion? And two, am I willing to make those sacrifices required to get it? Because for a promotion like this, it's going to require more time in the office. It's going to involve you saying yes to some things that will require you to say no to other things. Like yes to more hours, but no to more time with your work friends during lunch. Or yes to working a weekend every month, but no to seeing your kid play soccer on Saturday morning. It might mean not going to the gym as much, or missing time watching your favorite shows on Netflix because you're at work later during the daytime and you get home and don't have time and too tired. Or maybe you'll have to bring work home and you have to make that decision of, is getting this promotion worth the things I will have to sacrifice? And maybe it is. Maybe the answer to that question is yes, but you still have to answer that second question. What are you not willing to sacrifice? You still have to ask yourself, what are those things that under no circumstances will I not give up? Like your mental and physical health, or the time with your significant other. Which ones are you willing to sacrifice and which ones are you not? And that's completely up to you. And it feels good to know that the keys are in your hand and that you are running the show. Because life can be like a pie, and there's only so much that will fit into that pie, and we have to decide which slices are bigger than others. And if your work slice is getting bigger, that means the other slices will have to get smaller. Otherwise, it won't all fit. So we have to decide which slices are more important. Different goals require different sacrifices. But if you feel like the sacrifice is actually worth it, then it's just like that quote says, it's not really a sacrifice, it's a down payment on their future blessing, which in this case might be that promotion that you've been wanting for years. But if we try to do all the things, all of them, and not make any sacrifices, if we try to fit all the pieces of that pie without making some slices smaller, we might burn out and just completely throw in the towel. So figure out what you're willing to sacrifice. Like for me, because my main career is theater, I'm an actor, we typically don't have a regular 9 to 5. So if I wanted to, I could sleep in, but I don't. I sacrifice that. Why? Because I'm working on my workout program and I'm working on trying to get this podcast thing off the ground and make it as successful as I possibly can. So I sacrifice sleep during the week. I wake up every morning at 6:30 in the morning, even though rehearsal might be at noon or 5 p.m. I wake up and I go to work. Another thing I sacrifice is football. Now, if you know me, you might say, no, you a lie. I know you love watching football, which is true. But the part I sacrifice is reading all the blogs and watching as many football talk TV shows and spending as much time on Twitter and social media reading all about my favorite football team, which is the New Orleans Saints. I can spend hours and hours and hours reading, watching video clips, and listening to folks talk about football, right? But I sacrifice that, especially in the morning, because I'm protecting my time when it comes to working on my business and running a podcast, right? I have to limit my time with that because I have things to do each and every day and I just can't, right? And that's just for me. Now, the point is, there is no right or wrong way. The choice is yours. Nobody on Instagram can tell you what you need to be sacrificing. Your mama or your cousin or your uncle can't tell you, right? They don't live your life. But at the same time, you have to understand that there will be some kind of cost. It ain't all just sunshine and rainbows and butterflies and then 6-figure paychecks start to fall in your lap, right? We know it just don't work that way. But social media and Instagram and Facebook will make you think it is. Whenever we see people's highlight reel of their promotion and fancy house or new baby or whatever, there is a cost. We don't see behind closed doors of their lives, but there is a cost. You better believe that. So choose the sacrifice. Those sacrifices that you choose may have a negative impact in the short term, but will have a positive outcome in the long term. And that long term is what's most important. So let's figure it out and understand that it is a down payment. Don't burn yourself out. Don't overwhelm yourself. Figure out those sacrifices. So that's what I got for you today. If you like this episode, please share it with somebody that can benefit from this, somebody who is a friend or a family member, somebody who has goals and is trying to improve their lives. So thank you again, and let's get it in.